Hello, beautiful art people, and welcome to this channel. My name is Miriam. Today we're going to make these pretty cats. Well, the first thing I'm going to show you is some color samples I made with Curatag watercolors and with some White Night watercolors. And I wanted to test out how they reacted if I used salt on them. So I just made these color charts to check how they reacted. And as you can see, it was the Curatech that we gave the best result actually with the salt. So that's what I'm going to use in this tutorial. And down below I made some color samples, as you can see here, to see what colors I could mix from these four colors. I'm also adding a gold color. I'm using Canson watercolor paper, 300 grams, and I'm taping my paper to a board. And once it's taped, I can begin to paint. And I'm using a Chinese calligraphy brush. And to begin with, I'm just making a very watery mix with the indigo and with the yellow ochre color. And then I just draw on the paper, just randomly. I would like to have some nice shapes, so I think in nice shapes. Don't want it to be straight lines or something like that, but very natural shapes. Um, and then I just begin to mix the colors in my color palette, and this mix is a little bit stronger than the first one, and I just put it in on the paper. I really want to leave some white spots on the paper, so there will be a combination of colors and some white spots. And here I'm just going in with the indigo in its pure color, not mixing it, and just dropping it in. And now use the brush. This brush is very good for making some interesting lines. So yeah, and here I'm dropping in some of the yellow ochre, just going in randomly. And here I just combine the two pea green and the yellow ochre on the brush. And now I go in with the salts. I really want to make some nice structures in the paint. So yeah, I'm using fine table salt for this one. But before everything dry, I decided that I wanted to put in some more colors while the paint was still wet, because things flow together so good when everything is wet on the paper. So, and here I'm just making some very fine lines, and I have shifted to a little bit smaller calligraphy brush. Very hard word to say for me. And then I just add in, and this is quite a dark color, because we want to shift between very light colors and very dark colors. It gives the cards a nice depth, and yeah, it makes a big difference when you are painting something, in my opinion. Some people like just to paint in very soft colors, and that can be great too, but I don't know. I like it best when there's a difference between light and dark colors. And I'm going in with the gold. They also have this in the Curatech set, so that's very nice to use. And I'm just dabbing it in here and there. And this is very intuitive, I would say. Just making a little bit of splatter. So, and this is the fun about this sort of painting. You can get many different results. So I would just encourage you to experiment with this. And if the first card doesn't work, just give it another go. Yeah, and then you probably succeed. So this is quite fun, and I love to make this. And when I give these cards away, people are very happy about. They think they are very pretty, and they always ask, "Did you make that yourself?" And I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, that's so pretty." So It's a nice and personal gift you can give to someone if you're going to a birthday or a party or something like that. So, and I'm still working a little bit while the salt is drying. And now I'm going very easy with my smaller brush and just looking at the painting and seeing, do it need something, or do I want to blend some colors somewhere on the paper? Are the lines a little bit too harsh? Do I want them softer? Do I want to add some more dark color? Yeah. And now I use my brush. You can see how I'm holding the brush to make some funny lines that I can't control really. So this is a very good way to make some interesting shapes. Just hold it at the tip of your brush. And of course some splatter. We need that as well, in my opinion. So, and I'm dipping in the paint, and then afterwards I'm dipping in the water to, yeah, just get everything out of the brush. Now everything is dry, and I'm removing the salt and I'm removing the masking tape using my hairdryer. And as you can see, it's afternoon in my studio, so the light just changed. And it's amazing how things can go. But this is the finished part. But now I want to cut it up for cards. So I just measure on the back side of the paper. And please make sure that everything is dry before you do this. And then I make a line in the middle, and then I measure the other way around and find the middle of the paper, because these will be my cutting line. Like that. And now we are ready to use our cutter. If you don't have one of those, but just have a Stanley knife or something like that, you can just use that and use a ruler to help you make an even cut. I find this fish cast machine very handy, so I'm pretty happy about this one. And yeah, and the exciting thing is what the cards will look like when I turn them around. And that's always really exciting to see how everything turned out. So, yeah, and we are ready to look at the cards. Oh, I think they're so pretty. Very beautiful. And you can just move the cards around and see, turn them around, and yeah, and see what you like. Now I have grabbed my smaller calligraphy brush, and I just wanted to add a little bit of indigo blue in some places, just to have some even darker spots. And I'm making uneven circles, if you could say that. So yeah, and I'm just looking, where do I think it needs a little bit of something. And I just love these shifts between the light and the dark. And I think these colors work beautiful together, especially when you mix them. They make very beautiful colors. Yeah, so it's really nice to work with. And if you don't have Curatech colors, you could use something else. Just use what you have, and yeah, you can make an color sample or a test with salt to see if you got different brands, which ones are working the best. Now I'm just drying off the cards with my hairdryer. And then I want to add a little bit of something with a white Posca pen, just to make some interest in the card. And I will not be doing a lot of doodling on these cards, but just a little bit of something. And here I'm just making some round shapes just to make some interest. And yeah, because there will be a lot to look at when you do that. Um, and I think that's very nice for the eye and for your imagination and so on. And it makes everything interesting. So I would love to see your cards if you decide to make these. So feel free to join my Facebook group, Miriam Thompson Art Studio Community. This could be so much fun. I'm also present on Instagram, so you can tag me if you want me to see what you have made if you are on Instagram. And yeah, now I think I'm quite pleased. And you can see the white line you got there on the cards. And if you don't like that, you can always cut them off as well. Um, yeah, and then the only thing left is to write in your name and sign your cards. And there you go, the finished cards. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful. It was very fun to make, so yeah. And please like and subscribe if you like the video, because it will help this channel grow. So thank you for that, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye for now.